Is going on, everybody? What is going on? The catch fam. I hope you guys are doing fantastic tonight. Hope everyone has had a great weekend. I hope you guys are ready for another live 2025 fantasy football draft. Hopping into some underdog drafts here tonight. Gonna get some best ball action going for tonight's stream. You guys know what it is. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk some fantasy football and throw together a couple squads for the 2025 fantasy football season. So, gonna finish getting set up here, then decide which tournament I want to hop into tonight. I don't know. I usually am not really big into the super flex drafts, which I don't know, we run super flex leagues for the community. So I don't know why. I just never really do a lot of the super flex best ball drafts. But I'm thinking of kicking off tonight's stream with doing a super flex puppy. So I think that's what we'll do. And then we'll see how long that takes. And if I hop into a best ball mania tonight, I'm still trying to save as many of my best ball mania entries as possible for a little bit later in the off season. But we'll see. I don't know. I might do a weekly winners. I feel like last season I did not get enough weekly winners entries in, where the prior season I was really high on like weekly winners entries. It was like my favorite tournament. So let's do a weekly winners, 20-second per pick, just to kind of get warmed up, see who's in the house. 8 spots. If this doesn't fill quick enough, then we'll switch to a super flex puppy. But I don't know if we can get this weekly winners filled. There's 7 spots currently. I just really love weekly winners. And like I said, last year, I literally only had 6 entries, which is maybe it was more, but there was not enough. I have a feeling this is not, you know what? I changed my mind. I'll come back to it. Oops. I changed my mind. I just feel like it's not gonna fill. So let's hop into a super flex puppy. 20 seconds per pick. We'll get warmed up this way, and then we'll see what happens after 2 spots. Fill them up. J-Dubs, Cats, Taylor, whoever's out there, Ray Gamer. There we go. Hopefully you guys are in here. Sorry, that was a chaotic start. That was a lot of chaos. I'm sorry. But nonetheless, the draft is filled. Cats is in here and J-Dubs. Beautiful. So we got 2 you guys in here at least. 2 of the loyal underdog drafters in the offseason in here. So let me know what's up. Let me know how you guys are doing. If you guys have any fantasy football questions, redraft, dynasty, best ball, whatever it may be, please get them in the live chat. Any fantasy football discussion, anything that you guys want to go over tonight, let me know. And we'll get rocking and rolling in a few minutes here. So yeah. Finish getting set up here. Getting closer and closer, ladies and gentlemen. A week into June. Be August before you know it. It'll be September before you know it. I always feel like August, the official mark for fantasy season. I know a lot of us there's no off season, but a lot of people June area feels like it. But for all those people holding out until August, August, when a lot of people, especially 2 weeks into August, when a lot of people start to really hone in. So we're getting closer and closer, boys and girls. All right. On the clock. I kind of want to go 0 quarterback, so give me a little Bijan mustard. Switch it up tonight. Get the draft feeling whoa. Burrow's a good pick there. Saquon's a great pick there too. And I'm gonna have so many entries this year. Always have tons of entries across the board, so I like to switch it up. Let's go 0 quarterback. See what happens. See how bad of a QB room we can build. The Superflex League that I won last year with Fantasy Endgame, shout out to Chris and Pierre. That's what I did. I went 0 quarterback. I had Goff, Baker, and Sam Darnold and Russell Wilson were the 4 quarterbacks that I drafted. But I didn't go 0 quarterback, but I went like later round quarterback, essentially 0 quarterback in terms of a draft strategy. And yeah, I won that league. That was a lot of fun. Just loaded up at skill position guys. So I do feel like it's a little bit steeper. Like I've tried to do this before in underdog drafts, a little bit steeper here, but yeah, we'll go late round QB tonight. I'm gonna go like dirty quarter. I'm dirty, like gross. Like we're gonna get Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones on this team. See what happens. Probably maybe not that bad. We'll see. All right, what's going on, everybody? Ray Gamer, hello. What's up, J Dubs? Hope you're doing well. Taylor hopping into an Eliminator. Eliminator is just the one tournament I just don't do. I did one last year with J Dubs, maybe 2. I don't know. It's just not. It's not the tournament for me. How's weekly winners work? I absolutely love the setup of weekly winners. It's literally exactly what it sounds like. There is a winner every single week, and like I don't know. So hold on. I'll pull up the details after this pick. I'll go Puka here. I feel like I haven't drafted a lot of Puka this year. I like Nico right there. I like BTJ right there too, but we'll go Puka. We'll go Puka. Yeah, so Cats for weekly winners, I just want to. I'm double checking to see if there's anything different because some stuff is changing year to year. 1.7 mil in prizes, 100K paid out weeks 1 through 17. So like after week 17, there's nothing here. But first place is 20,000. Second is 10. Third is 5.5. Fourth is 4th, and then it kind of goes down from there. But every single week, you have the chance to be number 1 overall, essentially, or claim some sort of money. So it's in terms of like, top 15 spots will get $1,000 or more, up to $20,000. So I just like it because it resets every week, and I think it's fun. So some of my strategies in weekly winners before have been like pick one team, draft all their players, maybe pick like 2-3 teams, find a matchup that you like in a particular week, or find a particular week where you like a couple different matchups and really target just those teams. Think about like 2 years ago when the Dolphins, put up 1,000 points on the Broncos or whatever. I remember specifically the team that won that week had like all Dolphins players, like Devon A. Shane, Tyreek Hill, everybody else there. So, yeah, there's a couple different strats you can go with for sure, but I just really like weekly winners. I think it's a lot of fun. Ooh, it's a tough pick. Go, give me some Bucky. I'm gonna go a little bounce back strat here. Go RB wide receiver, RB wide receiver. There are some wide receivers available right here that I like a lot. Jacob's not doing weeklies. Yeah, highest score week to week. Yeah, I was worried you guys didn't get in there. That was a chaotic start this stream. I'm sorry. Taylor, not a super flex contest guy, but I'll be here for moral support. Yeah, I'm not generally huge on the super flex contest either. But we'll see. Ray Gamer doesn't have underdog yet. No worries. Just saw names in the chat. I shouted them out. Yeah, it's my first. Yeah, my first of the season as well. So Taylor says they changed the setup for eliminators this week. Really like it. I'll take a look. Eliminator is always confusing to me. The round advancement is like the way it's displayed is so much more intense than the other tournaments. I just feel like so wait, you qualify do you qualify week to week in Eliminator? See, I never know how to explain Eliminator either. I don't know. Maybe you guys can convince me to hop into a couple this year. I know you guys, on a yearly basis, it's one that you guys are a big fan of, especially J Dubs. All right, back on the board here, and wow, I'm glad I went Bucky there because every wide receiver I was eyeing right here is still here. I really like Higgins in best ball, but I think I'm just gonna go Garrett Wilson here, but I really like Higgins here as well. All right, quarterbacks are down to Penix, Young, Stafford, Tua, Geno, Cam Ward, Darnold, A. Rich, Rogers. Yeah, I should probably draft a quarterback soon. There's 4 rounds without a quarterback. That's pretty steep. I don't think there's really any other team. Yeah, I'm the only team without a quarterback. Every team has at least one quarterback. And Penix and Tua are gone. I feel like this whole round right here, though, the 4th round, J-Lo, T-Law, Stroud, Penix, Tua is pretty good value. Eliminator is probably the highest leverage term if you know what you're doing, which I don't. Yeah, see, that's the problem with the Eliminator for me. I always feel like I don't know what I'm doing. At this point in, my life, I should probably have a wrap on that tournament, but it's a tough one for me. I'm tempted to go with another skill position player here. I will say, like, if Higgins is here, I'll be really tempted to go Higgins. I don't know if there's anybody else that I'd be there are plenty of players I like, but pretty sure I'm probably just gonna take a quarterback here. Okay, there goes Higgins. We started with Puka and Wilson, so I guess I'll go for Stafford here just to get the stack. I do like Bryce Young right here, though. Why not? Yeah, we'll go Stafford. Makes sense. Yeah, Tyler Shuck might be joining the squad. We'll see. I mean, I wonder if there's a deflated or inflated value to QB wide receiver stacks and a Superflex tournament, or if it's about the same. Yeah, I know that's your favorite tournament, J Dubs. I'm kind of bummed in the dynasty draft, guys. I feel like Smokey or Steelers is definitely not making a pick tonight, and I'm on the board next to him. Got my queue ready. I'm kind of undecided if I want to go running back or wide receiver with this next pick in the rookie draft we are in. But I'm going to go with either a running back or a wide receiver, in case you guys are wondering. All right. I'm kind of trying to eye some stacks here. I think I got a plan. Will it come together? I don't know. Will it be worth it? I have no idea. Man, if I just want to go all skill position players, there are some guys right here I really like. I really thought I'd be able to push quarterback a bit more here. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I am going to take a running back in Kenneth Walker just because I want to. I mean, there's some interesting, I just feel like after Shadur Sanders and Flacco are gone, I mean, you're really playing with fire. I mean, at that point, you are playing with fire as well. But I mean, yeah, after the Giants and Browns quarterbacks are gone, like, yeah, it's kind of gross. Well, I went in on running backs here. We got two kind of like stud receivers to start here, too. So that's exciting. No, switch it up. I do feel like, you know, when you do go earlier, you know, quarterback like traditional here, there's still just a lot of really good value. Running backs and wide receivers pushed back. So I don't know. I feel like this strat could go either way here. Albert, good to see you. Vincent, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Good to have you guys in the house tonight. Playing with fire. If you if you start staring down Shaduri, you're burnt to a crisp. Yeah. I mean, I guess the point I was trying to make was like, once, you know, in theory, those guys are gone. Is there any other like starting quarterback even in any way available? The answer's got to be no, right? All right. Just because of the dynasty draft we have going on and uh elsewhere, I'm going to Aaron Rodgers here. What bye week did the Steelers have? Week 5. Okay, thank God. Say if he has the same bye week as Stafford, that's gonna be no bueno. And I guess in theory too, like you want like, what are you guys thinking? You want at least 3 quarterbacks? Yeah. Yeah, I may have botched this one. This is probably why I don't do super flex entries. I mean, 3, if not 4. I mean, my like rule of thumb for a long time was always like draft 4 quarterbacks in super flex. Dang it. I wanted Metcalf. I don't know why. Like I don't know why I thought Metcalf might actually fall back. At this point, I wish that I went like Devonta Smith or just Metcalf without Rodgers. I also really wish that George Pickens was still on the Steelers. I feel like I don't really like. I understand the move to a degree, but I feel like with bringing Rodgers in, like I don't understand why they didn't keep Pickens. Like I guess Metcalf Pickens, that situation could get a little like, I don't know, but like how many teams have a 1A, 1B? Like I don't know. I just feel like because now you got like the rumors that they're trying to trade for Johnny Smith as well. If they're really going all in, the only piece they needed was a quarterback. Like I feel like if they have Metcalf and Pickens, like that's just so incredibly different than just Metcalf and Calvin Austin and et cetera, et cetera. All right. I'm just yeah, I don't know who my quarterbacks are going to be. It happens, you know. Yeah. We might need to do a couple more of these. Spencer Rattler going to start games. I don't. I have more faith than my boy Tyler Schick. Not. I don't think Rattler did quite enough last year for me to feel in any way, shape, or form confident. Who like if you were, but I mean, I guess this brings up a question. If you're drafting a QB2, who you guys eye? This is really the only format for best ball, I think, that like a true QB2. I feel like Marcus Mariota, I kind of like. Gardner Minshew is interesting. But that's like, who do you think is most likely to get injured as a QB1? It's such a, it's not even a question that you can really rely on in any way. God, Stafford and Rodgers. I don't know this team. But I guess with the Superflex format, like one thing to remember is that you don't have to have a quarterback in the super flex spot. So that's where this type of strategy can come into play. Like, I mean, Yeah, people are just going all skill position now. Also, tight ends are basically like, I feel like all the top tight ends are basically gone. Well, my running back room is good, so got that. Running backs really got kind of wiped out here too. Oh, yeah. I will go Jacoby Myers. Love him in this range. There's quite a few wide receivers I really like right here. Because let's see, we're starting. Like almost my strategy becomes like, how many skill position guys can I draft here who can go into that super flex spot? We'll see. Do you get extra rounds in this one? It is 20 rounds. Ooh, juicy. Vincent says if Rattler did enough, they wouldn't have drafted QB second round. Yeah. You know, Catch just kind of has his guys. He might just be saying that because he has Spencer Rattler in Dynasty or something. Let's see. All right, I'm going to try and do something with these next two picks, and I don't know if it's going to happen and or work. We'll find out. I'm going to lean towards it probably won't happen. Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Reed back to back there. Ninth, end of the ninth, beginning of the 10th. I like that value quite a bit. There's Matthew Golden. J-Dub's getting his stacks on. Cats has Jackson Dart. Neighbors, some stacks there. CD, Dak. I feel like that's really like probably the best thing to do is probably go like 0 running back in this strategy and try and secure like 2 stacks right off of the bat. So I do like that start for you, Cats. Case you were curious. What is your guys' confidence level right now in Anthony Richardson? Shoulder injury sitting out at the moment. And then Michael Pittman also goes down. Opportunity knocks is what I have to say for Daniel Jones. Especially with this team. Welcome to the squad, Danny Dimes. I don't call you Danny Dimes for no reason. I like the Khalil Shakir pick there. I almost just took Khalil Shakir as a wide receiver 5. I'd be happy with that. For sure. But yeah, I mean, we had just like back to back to back negative news. What was it, Thursday? For the Colts. And I forgot the guy's position, but also personnel on the team is like part of the reason Anthony Richardson got drafted, fired. Anthony Richardson, shoulder injury. I don't even know. Like, what was the Michael Pittman injury? Let me see. Avoid serious injuries. Got knee soreness. Appeared alarming. Diagnosed with soreness, has avoided serious injury. Okay, I mean, he's sitting out minicamp. So I guess it could have been a lot worse. But yeah, that was just like, I mean, you guys know Steven, my best friend, he used to be on the channel, is a big Colts fan. So, you know, they're all coming at Steven in the group chat, right? But we'll see what happens. Oh, man, I was kind of hoping Evan Ingram would be here. Any players y'all just aren't clicking this year? I don't know. I feel like this is always such a tough question for me to answer because I end up doing so many best ball entries, so many mock drafts. I mean, so many leagues, so many different formats. that I feel like I end up drafting a little bit of everybody at the end of the day. And this is kind of a tough time of year where it's a little bit more difficult. I'm going to go Josh Downs here. So Daniel Jones, Josh Downs, I'm manifesting it for this 0 quarterback superflex team. So yes, don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to like ADP and just who I prefer in that specific range and all that. It's always a tough question for me to answer. And once again, I do so many drafts every year that I always try to play a little bit of devil's advocate. Like I try not to be completely out on any particular player because if you get too stuck in your ways, could end up having a lot of shares of the wrong guys or just not the right guys, not the right combinations. So I think it was like 3 years ago where like I think I took Mac Jones in like every underdog draft I did. Like Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne, or like Mac Jones and Hunter Henry. And it was like the year that none of those guys produced whatsoever. And like I just liked like it was just like a free late round stack. You know, you have to like be willing to kind of take like last year, like I was not very high going into the season, particularly on like Bo Nix and those later round Broncos wide receivers, not including Cortland Sutton, who I was high on personally going into the season. But I still found myself like forcing myself to draft Bo Nix, who once the season began, if you guys remember, I was like a huge advocate for Bo Nix very early on in the season before like it became trendy, right? But yeah, I took a lot of shares of Bo Nix late. Let me make this draft pick. Going Bateman here. Um, and like I was taking Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims, which Marvin Mims did help, teams that advanced last year. Troy Franklin did not. And like last year, a good example is I was drafting a lot of Bryce Young as a late round stack with like Xavier Leggett or Adam Thielen. And I probably overdrafted Bryce Young last year. Beginning of the year, it was looking really bad. Then it was fine. It was fine. I drafted a lot of Deontay Johnson last year, so I would just draft Bryce Young as like a QB3, or if I punted like after a QB1, like he'd be a QB2. It could have been a lot worse. Not as bad as the Mac Jones example I gave from a few years back, but it's a tough question for me to answer. Try not to be that guy who's like this player will suck this year, and I know it for sure because you just never really know. Yeah, Spencer Rattler, good. Cat's not clicking Marv at ADP. Yeah, I've gone back and forth with Marv this offseason. I think he's like, there's a lot of players. I'm like, he's fine where he goes. And also, I feel like his ADP is not true. Like on Sleeper, it's 35.2. I feel like I've seen him go like at the end of the second round quite a bit, though. You look at players like in that range: Scary Terry, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Higgins, Tyreek, JSN. I would say that kind of starts that tier like JSN to Evans would be that tier for me. It's all fine right there. I'll be switching it up. It's all fine right there. But like I will say, when like earlier in the offseason when Marv is going like right next to Lad or before Lad, I was a little bit off of that ADP, but he's fallen back a little bit. Give me Rashad White, baby. Going 0. Got Bucky and Rashad. We're going 0 tight end as well, apparently. Yeah, I think that Marv could fall back a little bit more. I will tell Steven, you guys say congratulations. Not getting married until next August. But I will tell him. He will appreciate that. Joe Blacko. Hello. Not clicking CMC ever again. I like CMC at his ADP right now. If he creeps too far, like, so I think on Underdog, he's starting to go at points at the end of the first round. I mean, I'm not completely against it, but I was more comfortable with CMC as like a mid, early second round pick. And I don't know. I feel like in redraft, he could still creep up. I could easily see CMC going in redraft in August. In a lot of drafts, I like the 112 area. But right now, like you kind of have Derrick Henry around there. Some drafts maybe Genty, and then you got that kind of like string of wide receivers like Nico if he's not gone yet. Then BTJ, Drake London, AJ Brown, like that whole like the turn of the first round going in the second every year is always kind of interchangeable. Every now and then you see a guy creep out of it into an earlier pick. But I don't have an issue with CMC where he's going. I also don't like particularly have an issue if you're just like out, like no thank you. Like I'm never gonna like, if there's a player who I'm like 100% like, yeah, I really like this player. This is why I don't think you should be out. Like there were people last year like out on Derrick Henry. There are people out on Saquon Barkley. Those were two players that I was really high on going into last year. Probably like two of my best overall calls. Like I remember like ranking Saquon very highly, and like it was like one of my like most disliked videos last offseason. It's like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm always gonna argue my point, but I try not to be that guy who's like, you are 100% wrong. All right, just give me Hollywood for some fun. I'm gonna go deep at tight end here, like scary place. CMC's current AP makes me queasy for sure. Yeah, close. Like I just have this feeling. I will say, like I said, that as his offseason progresses, he may definitely get to an area that's a little bit too high for me. Let me pull up the last mock that we did together. Whoa. Little sleeper noises. It seems to get the 2-5 in redraft. I am fine with that. So that would go Bijan, Barkley, Gibbs, Henry, Genty, A-Chain, CMC in the order of running backs. I'm okay with that. Then Jacobs and Bucky at the 2-6, 2-7 right after him. I'm okay with him in that area in redraft for sure. I don't know for best ball or underdog. Let's see. Last week's best ball mania draft I did, he went at pick 15, which is the 2-3. I'm still okay in that range personally. I'm okay with it. But if he starts to creep up too aggressively, which I won't be surprised if he does, like the 2-1, I don't know. I think there's enough players that I would still take over him. But all reports are, out of the Niners are that he's fully healthy. I mean, the risk is always going to be there, guys. And not just with CMC, but with a lot of players. It's always going to be there to a degree. And, we're not that far removed from like Saquon Barkley being viewed as a very risky pick. Post 2020, 2021, it was like, you cannot touch Saquon. Then he was the RB5, the RB13, the RB2, right? We're not that far removed from Breece Hall being a player who like you absolutely could not touch. And then coming out, I mean, remember like Breece Hall Going into 2023, his status was very unclear. He was RB2 2000, finished as RB2 that season. So there's always a lot of risk with running backs. Like there's always this argument like Derrick Henry, his age, been a top 8 running back 3 years in a row. He's been a top 8 running back every year since 2019, outside of 2021 when he was injured, but he still had a crazy year the year he was injured. So you can really look at a lot of running backs and pinpoint a lot of risk. And it's just part of the game. And just think Jonathan Taylor is another good example. Like I wasn't overly excited about Jonathan Taylor going in 2024 this past season, as he had missed time in 2023 and 2022. And he finished as an RB12 last year. You know, dang, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I did not realize JT had over 1,400 rushing yards last year. I feel like I'm always a little too low on JT. Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, you could pull up a lot of running backs and bring up, but at the same time, like, are those examples going to be linear to exactly how you feel about Christian McCaffrey, and the specific injuries that he's had? And then at the same time, recency bias is always going to impact fantasy football. It's just part of it. So, especially if you drafted CMC at the 101 last year, you're probably off. Yeah, I will say I do really like Christian McCaffrey in best ball specifically because you want to go for that, that upside at all times. And he will present that upside. So, even if a player is missing time, the weeks that they are active, that helps you in best ball. So going 7th overall in Eliminator. That's what is the context kind of behind that? Like, see, I still don't understand Eliminator enough. Defense, San Francisco's defense will be mad. I imagine more shootouts. Yeah, they weren't great last year either. I had to consistently remind people, like, do not start this defense in fantasy. They are not good. Seems to be way more risky. Yeah, I mean, like I said, those injuries and examples may not be exactly linear to how you feel about Christian McCaffrey. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, if you're off a player, be off them. Trust your gut. But at the same time, if you're doing underdog or best ball entries, I do encourage you guys, if there's a player that you're just like, I'm out, I am not touching them, make sure you have some exposure to them, have some entries where you do draft them. You don't want to be 110% out on anybody. Because you never know. It's like think about George Pickens and Amari Cooper 2 seasons ago, and or Breece Hall. Those were like the 3 players that you had to have to advance in week, what was it, 16? 2 years ago. I remember being really bummed when I had some exposure to them, but didn't have exposure to them on the teams that I had qualifying in those weeks. So why didn't I just draft George Pickens? Why didn't I just draft Amari Cooper? Also, Amari Cooper, a very good example of a wide receiver who has just like completely gone from very fantasy relevant to like, what is this player? What is this player? I mean, over 1,100 receiving yards 2022, 9 touchdowns. Over 12,000 receiving yards 2023, 5 touchdowns. What happened last year? Why did the Bills trade for Amari Cooper? What was that, just to get us excited? But keep in mind, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen are still out there, and they will end up on teams this year. They will. Might be later in the season, but they will. I have no idea what this team turned into. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This team's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Running backs go much earlier in Eliminator because you want players that provide a solid floor. Volatile or boom bust players tend to fall down the board more. Okay, I kind of remember that now. That makes sense. So running back, higher ADP. Even though CMC kind of fits that mold of boom or bust, he's still a running back. Nonetheless, man, Cats, why'd you take my player, dude? What is that about? Nerd. I needed him for my Stafford stack. Oh well. Dude, maybe I will draft Spencer Rattler the way this is going. All right, I need another running back, so I'll go Kareem Hunt. I don't know, man. This team's actually kind of juicy. If a lot of things go right for me. I guess that's every team. All right. I don't know what's wrong with generally speaking, whenever I set up a stream, I'll set it to subscriber only mode when it comes to the chat. But like, I don't know what's been going on, but whenever I try to change that setting, hasn't been working on YouTube. So if you guys are in here, you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor and subscribe. All right, I definitely need another draft tonight after this debacle. Jeez. Oh, 2 picks. I should probably go tight end. Hey, I want Calvin Austin. And don't you love when you get sniped? I guess I don't really need Calvin Austin. I just wanted a stack for good old A-Rod. But when you're getting sniped in these late rounds on these players that you would never think about elsewhere, just love it. Probably gonna go Noah Gray with this next pick. I kind of like Tyler Lockett in this range. Give me Noah Gray. Is there any quarterback worth anything left? Mason Rudolph, Joe Milton, Kenny Pickett, Zach Wilson, Will Howard, Malik Willis, Sam Howell. I mean, we're really just playing the game of like who might get injured and how can it benefit me? Go Riley Leonard. I think I'm good. There's just no running backs left that I want to draft. I can live with this running back room. I mean, I feel like I might as well just go wide receiver. Like, at least there's some value there. Like, the tight end room here sucks, but I don't want to. I think I'd rather I think the best available players are at wide receiver. So, do I draft Tutu Atwell or Dontavion Wicks? I think I'll just try to go Tutu. Unless one of you guys are taking him. Go Jordan Whittington. Is Noah Brown the wide receiver 2 on Washington? Like, have we determined that yet? I feel like Wicks is a good best ball pick here. Like, oh, Noah Brown's been hurt. Oh, I forgot about Debo. Sorry. Forgot Debo's a thing. Sorry, it's late. Never mind. When did Noah Brown get hurt? All right, I'm taking a Rams receiver this next pick. All right, I'm going to figure out what draft I want to get into next. I think I'm just going to do a weekly winners. I don't know if it's going to fill, though. Oh, it's going to fill. There's one spot left in weekly winners if anyone wants to enter. $10 entry. Just do it. It's fun. Okay? Just do it. We'll do a weekly winners entry, and then next stream I'll do a best ball mania entry. So Cats goes with CD. He gets Dak as well. Neighbors with Jackson Dart. So in theory, that's a stack. T-Law's on this team with ETN and Dewami Brown. Okay. Geno Smith is here. He is unstacked. Did I steal Jacoby from you? I hope I did. You got Adams, Neighbors, Lamb, Pat Bryant, Dewami Brown, Jalen Cokehead, Judkins, Pacheco, ETN, Javonte, Dobbins, right. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to look at these teams. Really get a sense. JJ C-Mac for J-Dubs, May, Love, Ward. I like Cam Ward's value in these drafts. RJ Harvey, Metcalf, Ridley, Mason Golden, Warren, Amika Egbuka, Isaac Arando, Goddard, Tillman. Yeah, it's like, yeah, these teams are fine. What else? It's like, what else do you really like? Just all kind of have interesting weak points and strong points. They're better than my team tonight, guys. I'll say that much. All right, I'm in a weekly winners for anyone who wants to hang out. All right, so I should have. I thought this was going to take longer to fill. Basically, what I want to do is find a week. Let's just do week one. What's the best matchup of week one? We want to attack Bucks Falcons. Draft all the Bucks players. Falcons defense okay. Panthers Jags. Who's the worst defense in the NFL? I feel like whoever we think it's going to be is not going to be as bad. Cardinals Saints. Saints defense. Oh, Giants Commanders. Giants defense not that bad. But the Bucks feel like my chosen team. But I don't need to draft any Buccaneers players here. All right, let's go Ashton Genty. The Raiders play the Patriots week one. I feel like that could be a big bummer. But in theory, could be a very good week for Genty as well. I don't know if I'm going to go Bucky Irving here. Who do the Lions play week one? The Packers. The Jags play the Panthers. The Eagles play the Cowboys. Just give me B, Tom. I mean, I guess in theory I could have gone Drake London there. That would have made sense too for expecting points between the Bucks and Falcons. The Falcons defense just like they weren't bad, they weren't good. Just like meh. I also don't like week one in general. Like if we're looking at matchups, and week one's always a crapshoot. A lot of things happen that you don't think are going to happen, etc. But I still feel like with those first two picks, just based on ADP, like because when I've done this, it's also part of like where I'm drafting. Like ideally here we'd be able to go Bijan Bucky, and then load up on Bucks players after, So you're going to need like pick 3 or 4 for that. Lundo would have made sense, but it is what it is. But yeah, like if you're going to do this type of strat in weekly winners, see, like I like that start right there, Bijan Bucky. If we're looking at week 1, Also, I think you don't want to. It's okay to have some, strategies like this where you're like thinking. But also, I think with weekly winners, it's okay just to draft some teams that they're just good teams. Yeah, I've never won anything in weekly winners, but I like it. Yeah. Watch Jerry Judy Ramley golf week 1. Weeklies aren't for me. The best way to leverage weekly winners is to get teams and players that aren't on by Megadon. Oh yeah, so yes, I do agree with this very strongly, J-Dubs. See, I haven't looked deep enough in the schedule either, but yeah, you find that 1 week where there are a lot of teams on bye week, then you have a huge advantage. I wish I'd done that. Maybe maybe I still can. Scrolling down to week 8. Are the Raiders playing in week 8? No. Are the Jags? No. Okay. Never mind. Next time. But yeah, this is a great strategy to bring up as well. You know what? Honestly, where I drafted this just did not work out for me the way I wanted to do this. So, oh dang it! I was trying to draft JSN and I didn't. But okay, I'm not mad about Garrett Wilson necessarily. But I feel like I'm drafting a lot of Garrett Wilson this year. But it's whatever. I don't care. I feel like George Kittle's such a good weekly winners type player. John started with 2 week 8 buys. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I could switch it at this point. Yeah, you guys know me. Derry, what's up, bro? Trade away AJ Brown for Evans and Jalen Warren? No. In what format, dude? No, I'm not doing this trade. I really like the AJ Brown disrespect is driving me nuts. I mean, I like Mike Evans. If this is a dynasty, absolutely not. If this is redraft, still no for me. It's gonna be a no for me, dog. Yeah, I think Mike Evans gonna have a good year for sure. But the writing's on the wall for Mike Evans, right? I mean, AJ Brown has averaged 16.7 or more fantasy points per game 3 years in a row. He's been the wide receiver. All right, he's been the wide receiver 8, 8, and 12 in fantasy points per game scored past 3 years. The wide receiver 6, 5, and 20 last year. And whatever. He missed time last year. Get over it. If I ever get desperate enough to do weeklies, I'm drafting all non-week. I'm about to do another entry where I do this. Because this is another strategy that I used to talk about a lot. Half PPR. Yeah, also in half PPR, I mean, Warren might have a little bit more value, you could argue, because he's a running back. But also in PPR, like, you want wide receivers that score touchdowns. AJ Brown 7, 7, and 11 in the past 3 years. And obviously, Mike Evans is known for scoring TDs 11, 13, and 6 in the past 3 years. So, I still would just keep AJ Brown personally. But yeah, we got Caleb Johnson there for the Steelers. Who knows how that's going to look? Yeah, I don't know what my strategy here is anymore. Let's just draft a team. It's fine. Chuba's on the squad now. But yeah, I do like that particular strat. Are there any other week? Because last year we had like kind of almost two bime apocalypses. It was like a pretty late week last year where a lot of teams on bye week too. Oh, I'm on the clock. Let's go Monty. Let's start with 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers. If all else fails, like all failed in the, of course, literally, guys, literally, look at this. Week 8, bye week, week 8, bye week, week 8, week 8. Not even on the same teams. Raiders, Lions, Jaguars, Seahawks. Yeah. Dude, I might actually I don't know. I might actually quit this draft and do that strategy. But drafting 2 teams at once is not fun. Redraft Baker's my quarterback. See, like even like really like stacks for me they just don't matter. In best ball, sure, they definitely can give you an advantage. In a regular redraft format, just yeah. Yeah, I'm not crazy on Jalen Warren as well. I think he's fine, perfectly fine where he goes. Pittsburgh's kind of been known to utilize more than one running back. Jalen Warren's gonna have moments. He's gonna have some good games this year. Jalen or Tyler Warren. I mean, it really depends on the build of this team. Like who are the other tight ends on this team? I think it's very unlikely that we get another Brock Bauer, Sam Laporta type season. Dude, I'm starting to see some negative reporting about DeAndre Swift, which is making me nervous, boys and girls. But I'm also seeing negative reporting about DJ Moore. Like I think Ben Johnson's just being a hard ass or something. Dude, I do like Justin Fields in this format specifically. I don't know. This team in front of me might take Fields, but I also want Pollard right here. So there's some late round wide receivers I like hanging around too. Going Fields. If I don't get Pollard, I'll survive. There's a lot of wide receivers I like right here. I also like Kyler. Might just go back to back QBs here. I don't know. There's some other quarterbacks I like. I'm going Pollard. If it's Tyler Warren and Evans for AJ Brown, I think it's closer. Says Taylor. Yeah, it definitely depends on the build here. I mean, and it depends. I would say it also probably depends more on what running backs are on the squad. Like, how crucial is Jalen Warren in this team? I might just take a dart throw on Tyler Warren. How many games Fields winning this year? Over under 7.5. Shoot. I mean, it's a tough division, man. It's a competitive division too. Division just always try the very least to beat each other. I think the Dolphins are such a weird team this year, though. But the Patriots look a little saucy on paper. Got a lot of hype right now. But the Bills are still the Bills. They're sitting at 7.5. Hmm. I feel like if it was at 6.5, I'd take the over. Because that defense, once again, like that defense just was not that good last year. So like I got Aaron Glenn as a head coach, gonna be a defensive minded team. Like the defense was very soft against a run for majority of the season last year, and the secondary just did not live up to what it was supposed to be. And then they were like losing games, so can always make a defense a bit more faulty. So yeah, I just don't know if I feel fantastic about them. I like always in this fantasy mindset. It's like I don't care. Like I can be high on Justin Fields and not care if he wins 5 games next year. Oh, I had Garrett Wilson on this team too, so that was a smart pick. Do you need to kind of load up at receiver here? There goes Tyler Warren. Speaking of Tyler Warren, I feel like Jonnu Smith fits the mold of a weekly winners tight end if he stays with the Dolphins. So I guess initially, like the trade reports with Jonnu Smith, I feel like they were a little loose. Like I said, like the Steelers just had interest and they're trying to like put some pieces around Rodgers or whatever. Um, but now there's more reporting coming out saying that like Johnny Smith wants a new contract. Looks like he kind of, in theory, deserves. Like, I don't know if Johnny Smith's ever gonna have a year like he did last year. He does feel kind of like a trap. I mean, he's 29, going into his 9th season. Just had this like random outlier year last year. He was decent. 2023. Arthur Smith got him involved with the Falcons to everyone's distress, but like, yeah. If he doesn't end up on another team, I don't know. Like if he was with the Steelers, like that's a odd mix. Is Arthur Smith still the Steelers offensive coordinator? Yeah. So that would make sense. Arthur Smith would trade for Johnny Smith and like ruin whatever value there is left on Pat Fryermuth. That'd be a very Arthur Smith thing to do. So we'll see. Maybe that makes me feel a little bit better about Johnny Smith if he gets traded. But generally speaking, I don't know. I like him best on the Dolphins. He's on this team though. He's on this team. All right, I gotta load up at late round wide receivers. Give me Goddard. Let's just get tight end out of the way. I mean, this team will be structurally fine. I mean, is a team I draft ever structurally fine? If I just wrap up tight end here, we got Jonnu and Goddard. We could take a late round dart throw if I want. Man, I wish this was 20 rounds. I like Tajay Spears here. That's fun. Let's go Tajay Spears. Oh, I had Pollard too. I like that less, but I guess maybe that's good. I was just gonna go Rashad White, but you know. And I guess in theory, like here's the other. I mean, you are playing 3 wide receivers in this format, but in theory, if Brian Thomas Jr., Garrett Wilson, JSN all ball out week 5, that's all you need. If the running backs fill in that flex spot. And this is an okay running back room with Genty, Chuba, Monty, Pollard, Spears. So that is the one advantage to this tournament too, is like you don't have to be as traditional with your selections. Yeah, I don't know why I've neglected wide receivers in this draft after our coming out with 3 in the first 4 rounds. There's some pretty. This is another thing that happens in weekly winners is there's always good quarterback value, because once those kind of like top guys go, I don't know, people go a little bit more aggressive at skill position players too. So we'll see. I went kind of mid round with Fields and Purdy, but like Jordan Love in the 12th, Stroud, McCarthy, T-Law, like there's pretty good value there. Drake May, Herbert the round before. Whole round with no QBs in round 10, then Goff, Kyler, Caleb, Brock in the 9th. Brock on my team. So yeah, we're gonna have some bad wide, like we are like that. Yeah, that layout I just explained with like B Tom, Garrett Wilson, and JSN going off. I'm really gonna need that to happen for this team. Also, week 8, we're kind of screwed at wide receiver. So we're going to go for pure upside. I was going to draft Rashad White. Yeah, Austin Eckler's off the board. I just need to draft wide receivers. We have enough running backs. But I kind of wanted to go Rashad White. And I like Eckler here too. But I'm not going to draft Eckler. Don't like him as much as I like White. And there goes Eckler. So, I think Jalen McMillan's still going to have moments this year, especially if there's injury to any of the vets there. So I like the Bucs offense. Sometimes I want to look past the player and or the player's situation, just look at the offense, and I'll go with McMillan here. Don't know that I'm crazy about QJ or D-Hop here, but I could see a few of these other players falling back. I'm really going to draft Quinn Johnston right here. Didn't Quinn Johnston still have like 8 touchdowns last year? Yeah, exactly 8. Why do I know that? All right, join the squad, Quentin Johnston. Quinn Johnston had 11.7 fantasy points per game last year. I mean, that's what we're looking for on this squad. So, yeah, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks left. I think I'm literally going to draft 10 wide receivers because I think we need some help here at the position. And like I don't like right now the top available wide receivers are D-Hop, Romeo Doubs, Michael Wilson, Demario Douglas, Keenan Allen. I don't even know if any of those guys are going to be here when I draft. So it's pretty gross. Might have to draft some gross players. All right, so we'll wrap up this draft, and that'll do it for tonight's stream. I feel like both drafts went really bad. I think I'm going to change the name of this stream to like a horrendous fantasy football draft or something. But yeah, guys, we're starting to get more content out. It's that time of year, so we have some shorts coming out on a regular basis. Doing mock draft strategy videos for the most part for you guys. But we'll start to have some different videos coming out, and I will have a video at some point coming out tomorrow, and then we'll do a subscriber mock draft. either Monday or Tuesday night on Sleeper. So just make sure you guys are staying posted. Probably just sticking with 2 streams a week, an Underdog stream and a Sleeper subscriber mock draft. But we'll see. Maybe ramp those up a little bit more as the offseason progresses. But yeah, trying to get back into the swing of things, guys. I feel like for 20 seconds, these picks are going kind of slow. I kind of like Romeo Dobbs if he's available. Do you think it's interesting for weekly winners? They always display. There goes Dobbs. The like weekly average, which for me, though, I feel like that never helps me draft. You know what? Oh, I'm not on the clock. All right, let's go Brenton Strange. See, like I really think you could literally just abandon a position and draft the best available player at any position. Terry, better fantasy season, Dak, Baker, or Mahomes? I think I got Baker here. But I'm a Baker believer. I'm a Baker guy. Baker is my most drafted quarterback last year. But I might still give the edge to Mahomes. It's close. And a lot of drafts, those guys are neck and neck. And I like Dak this year a lot, especially at his given ADP. Because, you think about the Chiefs, like, She Rice is there, Worthy's there, Hollywood is back. You got Kelsey and Noah Gray. You got healthy Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. I don't exactly know off the top of my head where their offensive line was graded last year, but I feel like it was not fantastic. And Mahomes was a QB 11 last year. Like, it wasn't disappointing, but he wasn't god awful. QB 11, QB 8 after being the QB 1, 4, 4, 7, and 1 previous year. So, But, I probably go Baker, Dak, Mahomes, and part of that would say would be based on ADP. Take a slight discount on Baker. But I do like Mahomes a lot where he's going for sure. For sure. All right, so I end up with 3 tight ends. We're just rolling with Justin Fields and Brock Purdy. It is what it is. Got a lot of running backs. I got 6 running backs on this team. All right, I'm just going to draft the 2 best available wide receivers. I go Tyler Lockett and Dontavion Wicks. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. The drafts tonight were not ideal, but I kind of like that sometimes with Underdog. Just get some weird entries here and there, guys. It you might regret it, but you might not. Oh, Tyler Lockett's gone. Give me Wicks. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. Thanks for talking fantasy. Like I said, we'll have plenty of content rolling out and subscribers mock draft Monday or Tuesday this week as well. So make sure you guys are staying posted on Discord. Yeah, Dak's value is great right now. Dak, Ferguson, Javonte Williams values are awesome. Yeah, I mean, somebody's always going to be a starter somewhere, regardless of how you feel about that Cowboys backfield. Javonte definitely could still have some value. Yeah, I like Ferguson a lot where he's going right now. Oh, this last pick's horrendous, dude. Let's just go Tutu Atwell. Might as well. Fits the theme of horrendous picks tonight. But Tutu had some moments last year. All right, guys, make sure to hit the like button on the way out. Stay posted. We'll have plenty streams, shorts, videos coming out this week. So thanks for hanging out tonight. Thanks for everyone who drafted in the Super Flex draft with me, and I will talk to you guys soon. With that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, Yesod here on the catch. And